Hi, welcome to our penultimate session of Urban Shadows. This series was organized through the Open Hearth Gaming calendar. If you would like to find out more about that or play with us, check out openhearthgaming.com. My name's Shane. I use they, them pronouns. I'll be the MC today. One thing that you all should know about me today is that I'm trying to cut down on caffeine. So if I'm flagging or if my MC moves seem a little harsher than they might normally, that is the explanation. I will, ask you all to introduce yourself and your characters now. Let's go left to right across the keeper. So, Ethan, are you okay to go first?
Sure. Yep. Hi, I'm Ethan. I am playing Vicente the Fae, who is actually I'm not sure where we last saw him. Oh, we last saw him partying because it was the city move and I didn't have any ideas, so I did the was mind your own business or whatever the move was called.
Mind your own business is probably a good description for Vicente's partying.
Yeah. I do not. I don't remember much else about what we did last time. I just realized it's a blank. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, Vicente has been partying. It makes sense. The main thing I
Yes.
remember is that you shared an intimate moment with Regis, and Regis has given you the Fey prison.
Oh, yeah, that's
Charlie.
sort of important. That's a thing to remember. Yes.
It may be.
Sorry, I
All
have
right.
actually not been partying, but it sure sounds like it.
It's all good. I had to watch the video to remind myself what had happened. That's why it's fresh in my mind. But thank you, David.
Yeah, hi folks, David, he, him. I am playing Cathy the Ghost, she, her. We last left Cathy having cashed in a debt with, um, why am I forgetting names? Like I said before we started recording, I'm very tired today. Maximus.
Maximus.
Yes, yes. Cashed in a debt with Maximus to have Maximus come with me to sort of sneak into Cleopatra the vampire's lair while she was meeting with
Miranda.
yeah, and it wasn't Ivar maybe there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there was a fight, killed some vampires, had a kind of a premonition of the use of Miranda being there present with them and Miranda being kind of part of all of this. Um, that's where we left it, as I recall.
Yes, thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, the last time we left off Maximus, I was also there killing some vampires. I marked corruption, and now that I think about it, I almost think that we talked about the killing Mammon from last time. I'm wondering if the blade it actually has like a tinge of demonic energy to it. Just to play off of that corruption tick that Shane had me take a few sessions back. I was making some moves. Laid claim to some safe houses. I'm sure that'll be fine. I owe a debt to at least one person in my powerful person in my faction in my circle, and possibly one more. Who else do I owe a debt to now, Shane?
So I think the other debt will be to Regis's ex-partner. Is it Sophie? Sophia?
Sophia.
Sophia, who is within the order also.
Cool. I'll mark that as soon as I have my computer actually up.
Sure. All right. Thank you. And Zeke.
Yeah, I'm Zeke. I'm playing Regis, the veteran playbook. We both use he, him pronouns. Regis was trying to tend to his business last time, but people from power are getting up in it, so he's going to have to deal with that soon.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So I have quite a lot to tell you about the faction turn, the city moves, all that stuff. So, firstly, I owe Cathy some answers from her city move. She called on her contacts. So you found out for sure that Cleopatra is the one that killed you, and you asked who was actually responsible. So who, arranged for Cleopatra to kill you. And what you've learned is that you basically were just collateral damage to get at Thomas. So in antiquity, one of Thomas's ancestors gravely insulted a powerful fairy, and for thousands of years, the Fae have just been tormenting each and every generation of this family. So Eva is the specific fairy who hired Cleopatra to murder you with the enchanted dagger that would turn you into a ghost, to torment Thomas for the sins of his, great, 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 great grandfather.
Wow, Cathy, you really should have just asked way earlier.
Your other question was who holds a debt on Cleopatra. The answer that comes back to you is that a person that she's indebted to is a member of power. In fact, a member of a member of power named Vivian. Would you like to put a face to a name?
Sure. That sounds good. Let's see. So that's a circle move for power,
Circle
right?
move. You're going to roll with power.
Okay. What is my power? That's a flat roll right now. But I can still check that box. Roll 2d6. Fire that off. That's a miss. That's a 5.
All right. So I'm just going to post the dice roller again for anyone who needs it. All right. What do we see on a miss on you don't know them or you owe them, MC's choice? Okay. So yeah, a member of power named Vivian. Just trying to think. You must have heard something about them well, actually, I think that, if you don't know anything about them, whoever told you that Vivian has a debt on Cleopatra says you should ask Regis about her. They don't go into any more detail than that. In fact, they probably also say you should ask Maximus about her.
Okay.
Maybe with a certain undertone as they say that. Now, what happened in the faction turn? So Desmond Beecham, the leader of the Propitious Order, decided to take things into his own hands and just have the Order attack Eva directly. Little knowing that one of his closest confidants in the Order had betrayed him and led him into a trap, and as a result, Eva was able to seize control of Britain's ley lines, the ancient circuits of power that the Order has spent generations protecting from the Fae. However, Beecham also managed to learn something valuable, specifically a weakness of Eva's. Eva has fallen in love with a mortal named Anthony. Some of you might recall that Maximus was investigating Anthony's disappearance a while ago, and will do anything to protect him. He spirited Anthony away and has kept him safe in his dream palace ever since, but is totally devoted and dedicated to Anthony and his safety. And Vicente, your city move last time, I know you were mostly partying, but the result of your city move was that an old friend or new ally approaches for help. And it's actually Beecham, the leader of the Propitious Order, who has approached you. You can see that he has some distaste for your sort of louche lifestyle, but he's heard that you're both an enemy of Eva and somewhat unscrupulous, and so he decided to bring you this information and urge you to use it to do as much damage to Eva as possible. Maximus, he's also told you this, but you get the impression that he pretty much blames you for what's going on, so he's not super happy about how things are at the moment. Eva, with control of the ley lines, has become so powerful that the Winter Queen has fled. She's in exile now. Eva has occupied the Winter Palace as the effective leader of the Winter Court. Maximus, there will shortly be a meeting of the inner circle of the Order to try and resolve this, work out what they should do. Regis, your city move result was that an NPC interrupted your business to cash in an old debt. And it's Vivian, your former mentor.
Yeah.
She wants your protection because she says that someone is trying to kill her.
Okay.
Will you honor the death?
Definitely.
So what does that look like? You've got
Well, does Vivian know if it's a mortal or a fae that's trying to kill her? Because like fae, I just got the wards from Sophia.
so you're inviting her to move into your house?
Yeah, I mean, if she's willing, I'll give her my, I'm sure I've got an extra weapon or two tucked around somewhere.
She looks at you like she's not sure if she should trust this man she doesn't know so well, inviting her to stay at his house for protection from the Fae, but she accepts the offer.
Okay.
So, Vicente, I'm wondering what you are doing, if anything, with the information about Eva and Anthony.
So do I know the background information of like he has gotten so powerful that the Winter Queen has bled? I imagine I've gotten word of that, at least, in some way.
Yeah, I think the implication of the faction turn is that this is stuff that everyone in the city has
okay,
heard about.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think, let me get this right. It was Maximus who was looking for Anthony. Yeah, I'll share that information with Maximus.
All right. Where do you go to meet Maximus?
Is there somewhere that Maximus would meet me that's like private, that is secret enough that he would be confident that not sharing this information with outside, but also that he would trust me to come to, or that he would, that isn't so secret he wouldn't tell me about it. Let's put it that way.
I mean, last time you wanted to have a private word, it was at a werewolf sex club, as I remember. I don't know if that.
It was, yes. Same werewolf sex club. That's fine.
Steven, what do you think?
Yeah, that works for me.
Right, a private corner of the werewolf sex club.
The werewolves they're preoccupied, so it's usually pretty safe to talk about things around them here.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very rude in this context to eavesdrop on anyone.
Yeah, that works for me. Do you have something in mind, like, for how you broach it?
I mean, I think I just say it like, Maximus, I knew I would find you here. I have information. Your friend Anthony is, well, he's alive. And he's also in Avar's dream palace. He's not in danger, but also it might be really hard to get to him.
What is he doing in Avar's dream palace?
I am not sure if he's more of a prisoner or if he's more of a... I'm not sure how willing he is to be there, but apparently Avar is in love with him and wants to protect him. I'm not sure from what.
I probably just shout fuck once and then nod sorry to everyone. Well, thank you for letting me know. Now, this does, and I forget if I had broached this topic with Vicente yet. This does bring me to the matter of Ivar. I know you and him have not been the standing between the two of you has not been good.
You could say that.
What if I were to say I had a plan to take Ivar out of the equation?
I would not stand in your way.
Well, what if I were to say I did not need you so much to not stand in my way as to present yourself in Ivar's gaze? I need someone to draw Ivar out so that we can spring the trap.
Well, that shouldn't be hard.
And there's no one more infuriating that I can think of than you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Tell me when and where. I'll be there.
I'm going to be meeting with Regis, but once I have the last piece, I will let you know.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's my plan.
Okay.
That's part one of my plan.
Nice. So, Cathy, I think Cleopatra had promised to return your dagger to you if you did this favor for her.
She did.
And I think we should see that scene. So I think that she's invited you to meet her outside a church. Maybe a surprising choice for a vampire, but it's the church where you got married, one of your anchors as well. After dark, of course, she doesn't come out in daylight.
I will mark trauma so I can be seen, heard, and touched.
Amazing.
Because I gotta take the dagger from her physically.
It's true. David, am I frozen or are you frozen?
Can people hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry, I think I just glitched for a minute.
Okay.
Oh.
Steven just popped out. I don't know if there's maybe an issue on StreamYard's end.
Well, Steven said he was going to have to pop away for a minute.
Right. Okay. Probably just a glitch then.
Do I need to let Steven back in? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I just needed to switch over to my actual computer.
Sure. So, Cathy, do you come to this meeting alone? How are you approaching it?
I'll come to it alone.
Well, Cleopatra smiles as she sees you walking over towards her.
I approach, basically just staring, daggers, no pun intended, at her. And
no need for that attitude.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, well, she just says there's no need for that attitude. You did me a favor, and now I'm going to do you a good turn in exchange. Isn't that just the way the world works? She's taken the dagger out, and she's sort of lightly caressing it as you approach.
I'll be taking that now. And I kind of hold my hand out expectantly.
I gave it to you once before, I suppose. And she just extends her arm and puts it in your hand.
I take it, I snatch it back, I draw it, and I point it at her throat. I'll give it back to you if you ever cross me again.
I like seeing this side of you. Does your friend Maximus know what you did?
Of course not. What do you take me for?
Well, if anything happens to me, he'll find out.
Why'd you do it? And I'm pivoting it to why did you kill me? Like I drop it here that I know.
Well, I'm sure you know. I did it for money. Undeath gets tedious without certain luxuries. You'll learn that soon enough.
So you're just a hired gun to the highest bidder. Is that what you are?
For the last 100 years or so.
Does Ivar take kindly to you trying to make love to his prey?
Eva doesn't care who I fuck. He's busy with his own affairs.
You know he wants to torment Thomas, if not kill him.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that he's paying me for.
You don't even care about him. This is just you fucking him for money so you can screw him over and drop him later, if not kill him.
I mean, it sounds very tawdry when you put it like that. For the time being, I have feelings towards him. Sure.
I'll try to stab her.
All right. Turn to violence. We'll come back to see how that works out. Regis, what are you up to these days?
Yeah, so I was mostly just catching up on grading, trying to inventory my workshop. Because I was just tending to my business, so maybe reaching out to some of the people in power since I switched to the power circle recently. So nothing too exciting.
Okay. So there's no particular scenes that you're looking to set up or anything like that?
I assume just the one where the person calls in the debt. Oh,
Right.
that was Vivian. Duh.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry. Yeah. Not particularly. I would love to get in my true artist move before the campaign ends.
Tell us about that.
Sure. So when I sorry, let me pull it up. When I publicly present a valuable or rare gift I've created for a status 2 plus NPC, they must openly refuse or accept your offering. If they refuse, they owe you a debt. If they accept, take one ongoing to consulting your contacts, recruiting allies, and refusing to honor debts from their circle until time after time passes.
No.
So I don't. I know that there's someone in the summer court who is once a item made out of dream stuff. So I was thinking maybe I could talk to Anushka and maybe offer her a debt to get me some dream stuff so that I could form a an item out of dream stuff and give it to that summer fairy.
All right. So you go to find Anushka. I think she's quite surprised. Is like, does everyone know that I'm walking around in dreams these days?
I mean, we go to the same university. We're going to, power recognizes power, I think.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to. I mean, you're trying to persuade an NPC.
Yeah. Okay. So that is that with circle or with heart?
With heart.
With heart. Okay, sounds good. So 2d6 plus 1. Oh wow,
Oh.
that's real bad.
All right. There's no miscondition. The So I think Anushka's gonna just beat the shit out of you. I think that she is not tolerating this like weird old professor coming to her with these strange bargains. She's not. She sees herself as very ideologically driven. She's not in it for power and the exchange of debts or any of that. So yeah, she's gonna beat you up and throw
Sounds
you
fair.
out for 2 harm.
2 harm. All right, makes complete sense to me.
And leave you just sort of lying on the ground outside.
Okay. I don't think I've taken harm before. Where is that in the
So it's near the top, just
near?
under where your stats
Oh,
are.
I see that now. So I'd
So you're
be
gonna mark 1 light and 1 moderate.
sounds good. Thank you very much.
No worries. What does Regis do as he lies bleeding on the ground at the campus where he works?
Yeah, I think he like freaks out because like he's been getting back into the life. He's been trying to make all these moves and he hasn't really gotten hurt. And now he just realized like I'm an old man, a human with no supernatural strength or anything, just beat the shit out of me. Um, and I think he's like reconsidering, like he not reconsidering, like he still wants to get his power back. He still thinks he needs to be back in the game, but he's realizing that he's not who he thought he was. He really had an inflated sense of self ego. I think he's being brought back down to, yeah, I'm like, I can do a couple more things than a normal person, and I know a few more things than a normal person, but I can be killed just as easily.
So Maximus, like, can you like tell us a bit about the plan that you've got going on and what, yeah, where we're going
Well,
with
I
this?
have Regis building me a Fey prison.
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
Vicente, who is the best bait I could have to use against our Fey spy master. I'm going to have Vicente try to like ask to be taken in. I mean, I guess out of the cold, but I guess in this case it would be into the cold again. To lure out and I think he knows that Vicente won't come groveling back to him, but I do think that it will lure him out to finally nip that string.
Okay.
And then
That
I
makes sense.
have I don't think I can kill him outright, but I have somewhere I can stash him.
Nice. All right. So I think we gotta play out this scene with Cleopatra to see where Cathy and Cleopatra end up. So Cathy, go ahead and turn to violence. So rolling with blood.
Yeah, let's see. That's with blood. That's a +1 for me. So do a +1 ticker there, and here we go. Did it roll, or do I need to refresh? I think it.
I didn't see it.
Okay,
I don't
I'll
see it
refresh.
rolling.
I think it might have glitched up there. Let's try this one more time. 2d6 plus 1. 10
10.
total.
Nice. So you inflict harm as established, and your opposition chooses one. They inflict harm on you, put you in a bad spot, or create an opening to flee. On a 10 plus, you also choose one. You can inflict terrible harm, take something from them, or create an opportunity for an ally. So I think that she's going to put you in a bad spot. And she's going to do that. We established some like psychic links among the vampires last time. She's going to instruct her minion to release the information to Maximus. What will you do from your 10 plus options?
I will inflict terrible harm.
Nice. I mean, in that case, you're going to do enough damage that she will, fall to the ground. She's at your mercy. She's not quite helpless, but she says, "My minion will tell Maximus what you did unless you relent." He will blame you for everything that's come in the Winter Court.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm just gonna say let him come. And if it's cool with you, I'll kill her.
All right. What does it look like?
I want to stake her with the dagger that she murdered me with.
Well, there's certainly poetry to that. Does she get any last words, or does she just evaporate?
Oh man, I liked my one-liner. I kind of want to end on that, unless you've got something.
No, if she doesn't get to speak, she doesn't get to speak. So Cleopatra is no more.
I need to pay Maximus a visit.
Or possibly you need to urgently start avoiding Maximus. So Maximus, I'm not sure if it's still at the Werewolf Sex Club or somewhere else, but a vampire has come to speak to you.
I'm probably not the Werewolf Sex Club. I think I'm already on my way to meet with Regis, who I will be very surprised to find out has been beaten up by a grad student. I mean, this is what happens when students when you're on a dissertation committee. But yeah, the vampire approaches me.
Well, so are they going to find you at Regis's, or I don't know that they can just find you if you're walking in the street.
I mean, we'll probably establish that, like, maybe when I return to my apartment, that the vampire will make their approach or something like that. But just that it happens.
Sure. So a vampire approaches and says that, he says he has a message for you. Cathy betrayed you. She lied to you to distract you so that Eva could meet with Miranda from the Order. And I think, from your experience that night when Cathy acted a bit cagey at Cleopatra's Needle, that probably rings true.
think for that it would just be like I nod and I say, don't think this changes things. Go after Cathy, and I'll still kill you. And I see them off, and then sit down to take a slow drink of whiskey from my drink cart.
Nice. Sorry, I don't think I quite heard what you said. Could you say that again?
Which part?
Sorry, I just had a bit of a glitch. I didn't quite catch it.
I said it that I more or less like I don't know if I've forgiven Cathy or not, but I still feel the need to at least lay down the law with these vampires and say this doesn't change things. Attempt to retaliate against Cathy, and I will kill you.
Well, I think this was the retaliation, but understood. And he'll turn into a bat and flap away.
Always bats, so unhygienic. I go inside, pour myself a whiskey from my drink card, and drink it slowly, brooding.
All right. So, Vicente, apart from sharing the information with Maximus, is there anything that you plan to do to try and deal with Eva or otherwise?
I think like when the time comes, I'm going to have to like draw him out. But I think that shouldn't be too difficult. I'm just gonna like
He did hire you to kill me, so you could probably tell him that I'm there.
No, he didn't hire me to kill you.
Oh yes, sorry. That was.
I wonder if Regis thinks that, and that's why it keeps being a misunderstanding. I mean, I think the obvious thing is to get Regis in on this, since he's like he was going to build this trap anyway.
Well, you've
just
got
to get
the
like,
trap.
You
have the trap. At least one of the two traps.
But he did agree that if Ivar managed to oust the Winter Queen, that he would help dispose of Ivar. So
That's true.
Yeah, so I want to get us all on the same page. I think secrets are not super Vicente's thing. And it doesn't make sense to have like a plan with Maximus and then a similar overlapping plan with Regis, and they don't know about each other's plans. So I think the simplest solution is to get all of us working on one plan.
Makes sense. Do you notice that Regis has been beat up?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, let me see. Do I have any?
Well, wait. Where are you meeting? Because Regis's house is warded against the Fae, so presumably you can't go
good
there.
point.
And also, I wouldn't let Maximus into my house since Vivian's there, and he had previously attacked Vivian.
I'm not sure if Vicente is bringing Maximus for this discussion.
No, I don't think so. I think, yes, I think I like try to call Regis. Here's a question: is Regis's phone also warded? Can phone calls get into your house?
I think phone calls can get in.
Okay. And ask to meet up.
Yeah, Regis is a little hesitant because he remembers that he's really not that. He's not all that, but he agrees to show up.
Cool. Just whatever's convenient for you that I won't burst into flames going into.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I mean, we could use all the help we could get taking down Ivar, and Cathy owes me quite a bit. I could call in a debt with Cathy, get us some ghostly muscle, and we could meet up at the park.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
all right. Well, sounds like maybe people are heading towards all 4 characters converging to do some more to organize things. Does that seem right? Cathy, did you want to talk to Maximus before all 4 of you meet?
I mean, he's where I'm going to next, but I don't necessarily know where he would be, and there's no reason why I couldn't be intercepted by Regis ahead of time. So it's all good if we just meet together.
Okay. I mean, I think I like the alternative where there's this unresolved tension between Cathy and Maximus, but if you'd rather like play out that discussion first, that also works.
No, I'm happy to do the alternative. How would that work exactly?
Well, either that you go to talk to Maximus, or that the 4 of you meet up in the park. That the other 3 all come to see you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe we are like I just get to Maximus about the same time everybody else shows up. Is that kind of where you were thinking of going, Shane?
That works for me. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's say you get a little bit of private conversation with Maximus before the others arrive. I think that's a good way to approach it.
Cool. Now I don't know how long my manifestation lasts for. Is that a scene or is that just for as long as I want?
Huh. Good question. I mean, it seems like it's an at-will thing, right? Like it lasts as long as you want it to last. Presumably not forever.
Okay. It doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and grade to only being seen and heard.
Mm-hmm.
Maximus, how do you react when I show up?
I smoke a cigarette and I say, "Congratulations, Cathy. You've learned quickly."
If it's any consolation to you, I killed her.
It might be, but my sources tell me the damage has already been done. I had imagined, Cathy, that there were some in this world who were not bound by the same rules as the kind that affect me. But it appears that we're more alike than I had thought. And if that is the way you want to play this, then going forward, remember that I have told no one in the order about what you did. I'm just letting you know that you owe me a debt, Cathy.
I was saying that counts as doing someone a favor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
So
okay
I
with me
think
if you want to take that.
this makes a good spot for Regis and Vicente to arrive and sense the, the tension in the air that is much more tangible than Cathy herself.
All right. Regis will say, okay, I think Ivar, I mean, Cathy, I don't know about you, but it seems like Ivar's making a problem of himself for most people. And so I figured maybe we would work together and take him out. Because the things are just way out of balance now. The Fae should not have control of the ley lines. That's has always been within mortals' control. And I mean, as much as I hate the Winter Queen, Ivar, I think, is worse for the world. So, Cathy, you know how I taught you how to deal with those exorcists to make sure that you didn't get taken out in those early days and used to fuel an arcane device. I think I need to call that in and have you back me up while we're taking out Ivar. So I'm trying to cash in a debt.
Yeah, let me see here how that works here. Lend a hand to your efforts. Yeah, let's go ahead and spend it on that. But I'll do you one better. Maybe if you want, you can kind of tell me how you want me to help specifically, because the fact is, I wanted to kind of take down Ivar anyway after I found out that he was after Thomas and I got killed as a result. So maybe not only am I going to help out, but like you can also, if there's some specific role you want me to play, you can kind of cash that in.
Yeah. So I don't think in character I knew about that. I probably would have you scout out the area ahead of time because you have the ability to go ghost and just, be intangible or invisible, and just scout out the area ahead of time, making sure that there's um, no traps laid by Ivar for us, or that he has any backup or anything like that.
Got it. Okay.
So I have a question, or I just think we should get on the same page. When we talk about Regis made this Fey prison, like, what do we think? Like, my understanding of that has been that it's a prison that if you can get a Fey into it, it will contain them. Is that what we all understand? Because I heard people talk about a trap as if it might, like, in some
I
way
mean,
activate
the trap
Fey.
is just the trap is going to be the fight. The prison is the
Okay.
place to send him after
Yeah.
after we catch him. Yeah.
Okay, that's totally fine. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page about that.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's good. All right. Well, it seems like you all have a plan, more or less. And Regis, I know that you're pretty good at laying out a plan.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, can I roll to make a plan?
I think you should. Well, you've certainly
Wonderful.
worked out a plan with someone.
Okay. So that is mind. So +2, I believe. Let me double check. Yep. So 2d6 +2. Please work well. 7. Okay, not as well as I
That's
would have
pretty good.
liked. Yeah, pretty good.
Cool
So
check.
that means that I have 2 hold.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, sweet.
All right.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Does Cathy tell the rest of us about the Ivar being behind her death?
Yeah, I think I'll go
Cool,
ahead and
cool,
say
cool,
as
cool.
part of this that, by the way, I have it out for him too if anyone doubts my intentions, and here's why.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
I
I'm glad that
will
we're all.
exact revenge on your behalf, which gives me a +1 forward against dodge.
Oh yeah.
Or is it forward? Or, let's see.
Plus
When you
one on
commit to
dodge.
enacting revenge on behalf of someone, gain +1 ongoing against the target of that vengeance.
Oh, but you also suffer 1 harm for every.
I suffer 1 harm if I don't pursue vengeance when I get a chance. Yes. So.
That's pretty intense. All right. We're near the top of the hour, so should we take a 10-minute break here?
Sure.
Cool.
Hey there.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading this comic that I thought you might find interesting, Shane, called The Snagglepuss Chronicles.
Okay.
It is
What is?
I've heard of that.
comic using the character Snagglepuss, except in this one he is a gay Southern playwright during the Red Scare in New York.
That does sound amazing.
I haven't read that one, but I've read the same author's run on Flintstones, and it's really good.
Hang on, I'm just going to make a note of this. Okay, excellent. Cool, we're all back. So yeah, I guess the first step in this plan is Vicente, as I understand it. Are the four of you going into the fairyland? Are you trying to draw Eva back to our world? Like, what's the nature of the distraction, or what are you actually doing?
I had thought trying to lure him into the mortal realm. That was my thought.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I feel like going toe to toe on his turf is probably a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Anywhere in particular that you're trying to lure him to? I have. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I'm already in pretty deep with Lucy, but their church was a ley line, right? We could like maybe get some werewolves to beat him up. Say that he's the one that's seizing control of ley lines. And then that church is near the church where the other trap is, or in prison is.
I mean, the church makes sense to me as a location because you chose it because it was isolated, and ordinary people wouldn't be at risk but from whatever happened there. So I think the church makes sense. If you want to try and convince Lucy and her pack to help you out, you're either going to need to use a dead or roll to persuade her.
I don't think I can persuade her to have the werewolves help us out. So, is there a way I can just have her not have the werewolves there and not be pissed at us for?
Well, there's two locations that you had, right? Like two
Yes.
separate.
I assumed he wouldn't get to the one. We wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Let's just do the one near the prison then, not the one that has the werewolves still.
Okay. So we were talking, that was a warehouse, wasn't it?
I believe it was like a Unitarian greeting hall.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right. Yes.
A Unitarian greeting hall. What a spot for a climactic showdown. Okay, so Vicente, how do you try and lure Eva to this Unitarian greeting hall?
Could just be something very practical. Like I just send him a message saying, look, now that you're in charge, I'd like to talk. I'd like to make a deal with you.
I mean, I think that
this
you
place,
just.
but
I think that you know enough about the court to know that the head of the court isn't going to turn up just because like some fairy says come and make a deal with me. So
right.
it's either going to be you would need some sort of stronger pitch or trick for it to be plausible.
That prison he wanted is completed right there.
It is. Although, like, he might not. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely, hey, we got your prison. you thought I was, wasn't gonna try to get Regis to build you the prison, but here it is, done. I
All right, and then
wonder if he even needs it anymore, but
the four of you are going to wait in the greeting hall for him to turn up.
Hopefully out of plain sight.
I mean, I can be invisible. I'm good. I mean, more or less. Is there any scouting out you needed me to do, Regis? I remember that was kind of part of the original.
Yeah.
plan.
I thought maybe we would be meeting Ivar at like a location of their choosing. And that's why I was thinking the scouting. But you could just stay ahead, like Maximus and I, who aren't supposed to be there and can't turn invisible, could stay behind, like stay outside of the building. And then Vicente can have the invisible backup of Cathy.
that works.
Okay, I'll be able to be. Well, let me see what. Sorry, I'm just looking at my manifestation options. I'll make it so that I can be heard and touched, but not seen.
Okay. So Vicente, I think that you're trying to mislead, distract, or trick someone.
Yeah, that seems right. And I can use heart instead of mind for that. Awesome.
Oh, nice. Cool. It's a shame it's not advanced for you. Wow. So what? You can pick 3.
Right. 36 moves. I don't do this often enough that I have the 3 things memorized.
Sorry.
Or the 4 options memorized. Here it is.
The options are create an opportunity, expose a weakness or flaw, confuse them for some time, or avoid further entanglement.
Well, I'm not going to avoid further entanglement. I'm trying to get him into more entanglement. So
Okay.
all 3 of the others.
That makes sense. So, I mean, the weakness or flaw, because to me, like the way I was thinking about this was as if the King of the Fae is coming, like personally to do this. But obviously, the weakness or flaw is his arrogance and his like wanting to lord it over you. That he's got the upper hand now. So that's the weakness or flaw that you expose. And I suppose it's an opportunity. You know, him coming here is the opportunity in itself. In what? How is he confused for some time? Do you think?
I mean, maybe it's well. I mean, we've already established that Cathy is invisible, but maybe he doesn't realize the others are there when he should, or when he normally would, or like as.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Like they actually are hidden from him, even though he, should be able to sense them.
All right. So he manifests just like this, almost like aura of gloating around him, and he says, "Thank you, Vicente. You've done well for me, as always. What exactly do you think I wanted with this prison?"
You never told us.
Well,
so I don't know.
That's very interesting in the chat. He says, "I've always found you terribly annoying as a peer, but I think you'll make an excellent pet. Now climb inside the prison."
Well, I don't remember that being part of it.
And Ivar just wants all the disaster twinks to himself.
He has a type.
Now that wasn't part of our agreement. You just wanted it built, but
you must have heard how powerful I am now. I could cause you terrible harm.
I have heard. Yes. You know what else I've heard?
What's that?
Do you have Anthony?
This is true.
Are you sure you have Anthony?
Ah, he's confused for some time. There's definitely a look of uncertainty passes over his face. We'll get in the cage and we'll go and we'll check. And if anything has happened to Anthony, you'll regret it most deeply.
If anything happens to me, I think Anthony might regret it.
I think you're bluffing. Get in the cage. The time for talking is done. Cathy, are you just silently observing this, or what are you doing?
I mean, I think so. I don't know if there's really a point in my intervention. I trust that you guys have this, kinda. It's
So is the
very.
plan?
I will say I'm gripping the dagger, like I really want to plunge it into this guy's
I don't
spine.
think I've ever actually even mentioned Anthony to Cathy directly, so I like the idea that this is just like
Trust you know what you're doing.
Yeah, let me see here. I feel like I should. I am going to. I always forget how this works. Okay. Okay, I just have to mark corruption. I don't have to roll to do that. Got it. Or no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give my monarch a debt as the option to do this. The Winter Queen now has a debt over me. Who knows where she is?
Eva,
But
you're a monarch now?
I don't know. Is he? That's a question. How in charge is he?
Well,
Is he
I
like-
guess we'll. Okay, you can give a debt to the Winter Queen. That's okay.
Okay. Cool. So
what are you doing with your fairy magic?
I would like to touch him and place him in a specific emotional state. Blind irrational rage.
Are you going to mark corruption to have that emotion directed towards a target of your choosing?
I think it's going to be at me anyway, but sure.
It is. If you don't mark corruption, that's a fair assumption.
This is just a shortcut instead of spending time annoying him.
All right. Well, I guess the good news then is that he abandons his plan to try and put you in the prison and starts trying to tear you apart bodily.
Okay, Cathy, feel free to jump in anytime.
Now might be the time. I'll let it out. And try to send off an ectoplasmic blast. Unless I also have a corruption move, telekinesis. I could try to just like move him away from you, just like throw him to the other side of the room.
Can I ask, as part of this plan, was there like a signal for Maximus and Regis to burst in, or like how?
I feel like there was.
I didn't roll a miss, so I think that probably was.
So I think that whatever Cathy does, Maximus and Regis burst in as that happens. So, Cathy, what are you doing? Are you using your telekinesis?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't require a roll. That's the thing I want to clarify with you. It just says mark corruption to move an object up to the size of a car. Does he count as an object?
A great question. I mean, you're rolling. So you're not rolling to let it out for this. It's not a let it out ability.
It's its own corruption move.
Okay, so I think that means I think that you can move him using it. That's just the way the power works. But moving him by itself is not going to cause him to release his hold on Vicente.
Oh, so it's either you're going with him, or we do a let it out. I'm gonna do the telekinesis thing and like just suspend both of you in the air.
Okay, great. So Eva will like let out a little cackle and say, Vicente, this is pathetic even for you.
You were supposed to stab him.
At that, I think the doors. Well, are you kicking in the doors? Like, what does it look like as Maximus and Regis come in?
I have an ability to to let it out to blindside an unsuspecting target with a terrible or knockout blow. So I think I probably come in stealthily and not just like kicking down the doors.
Mm-hmm.
So
Tell me about
maybe
this terrible blow.
yeah. I mean I've fought fairies before. The Winter Queen in the first episode sent goons with magic infused guns.
That's true.
I believe I said that I took a gun so I could study it.
Makes sense.
Maybe I'm hitting him with one of those magic infused guns, and it has the power of the previous monarch, and so
Oh, that's cool. All right, so roll with spirit.
okay. I have a +0 to this, so it probably won't end well. But okay, that's
7.
yep. So
The
not
MC will
great.
tell you how the effect is costly, limited, or unstable, and you mark corruption. So the effect is costly in that Vicente has just infused Eva with blind rage, and you've made yourself the target or the object of the blind rage. So he pivots towards you, his eyes, totally maddened with rage, and but you do some harm.
Nice. I do take a corruption advance from that. I'm taking
nice.
Pack Rat, which lets me have items on me.
Cool. Okay. It says strike a terrible blow. Is that what it says? And it's not going to knock him out.
Yeah, I think it says terrible or knockout. Let me.
Yeah. So
Blindside. Yeah, with terrible or knockout.
what makes it a terrible blow?
Could it be a cold iron bullet, and so it's like poisoning him?
Oh, so the terribleness is the sort of ongoing harm that he's going to experience.
Yeah,
that's cool. All right. So Maximus, you burst in, or you enter in some way just in time to see Regis get off this shot at Eva, who looks back at him with loathing, frothing rage. What do you do?
I mean, well, unfortunately, I can't mark another corruption because everyone else struck a blow before me. I will come in, blade drawn. I'll still mark a corruption to bring this blade down, and I don't know if this will we'll see. I'm bringing the blade down. I personally don't think beheading Yvar will kill him. That's what I'm trying to do, like cut him up into parts and then move him to the prison.
Nice. Well, go ahead and turn to violence.
Yeah, I'm just marking the corruption to take 10+. Sure. The blade is coated with darkness of that demonic magic. Its usual gleam turns I'll say it kind of turns from like a light into almost more of this like white void.
Nice. So your blade does how much harm?
It does a pretty good chunk by itself. I think it does like at least
3 harm. 3 harm.
Yeah, 3 harm. Yep.
And what are you taking for your 10+?
What do I have here?
Inflict terrible harm, take something from them, or create an opportunity.
I guess I'm trying to inflict terrible harm. Like we're trying to take him down. Unless you would say like, taking him hostage here would be something I can like, and trapping him would be something I can take from him.
I think you gotta wear him down a bit more first.
Okay. All right.
So I sort of want to check in with everyone about this. I think like there are kind of 2 ways that I'm tempted to go here. one of the options that he can choose for the hit on turn to violence is create an opening to flee. Then, we sort of reset. He knows you're coming. We can have a second version of this fight. But it does seem like if we do that, the only thing left to do is have this fight over again, and it's not very satisfying. But, sorry, I've just got like 3 different things going through my head. Also, I'm conscious that like next week is supposed to be our next week, but if we kill both the main campaign villains this week, we might not have anything to come back to. So I just wonder, does anyone have any reflections on all of these things?
That's a really fair point.
Are you interested in having the story wrap up, or see if the story does wrap up here, and Eva, who is like frothing with rage, maybe it doesn't make sense that he flees. Maybe you have set things up well for this to be the climactic encounter, but I think that probably lends itself to we wrap things up this week and finish up a little early.
I guess I'm tending towards the latter. I feel like him fleeing here would be it would kind of be like adding on a 2-part episode where a one part episode would be fine.
Yes. Yeah, let's not split the finale. I think that's a good call.
I could always spend a hold to have the correct equipment for this type of situation, and maybe I have, a circle of iron filings that he isn't able to escape to Fairyland from.
I mean, I think that the mechanics are lending themselves to. He just sticks around. Like,
Okay.
Vicente confused him for some time, filled him with rage. Like, all of these things lend them to me, say that you've set things up so he's going to stay and fight to the finish. I've just never run a series on the Open Hearth before that finished early because the story ended. But maybe that's what's happening. It's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm really enjoying this, and I don't want it to end early, but I do think that him getting away would kind of stink.
Yeah. All right. He will not flee then. He will inflict harm on you. How much harm does the new King of Winter inflict?
I'm going to use my 1 hold to block this, just so you know.
Does it just block it altogether?
I will double check. Best laid plans. Dismiss all harm someone suffers
from a single
wow.
attack.
So yeah, I think
Okay.
I think Maximus has a charm. Or who's he attacking?
Maximus.
I assumed me, yes.
I think Maximus has a charm of cold iron around their wrist.
Okay.
And it burns white hot while the blade strikes, and then it just kind of evaporates. And it takes in that 1 blow.
Okay, so Maximus, even though it doesn't cause you harm, you do feel the force that radiated back at you from Eva. It was, if not for that ward from Regis, it would have been getting hit by a car. It's the power is intense. It's raging. Let's see, Vicente, you're hanging in the air with Eva, who is currently raging at others rather than you. What do you
Cool.
do?
Is he still close enough to touch?
Yeah.
Awesome. God damn, I left it. Where'd it go? Okay. I would like to touch him and mark corruption to curse him with an elemental vulnerability to ectoplasm.
Is that an elemental weakness?
It's like slime, fire, ice, and candy. Ectoplasm too.
So it gives us examples: fire, steel, iron, etc. So it seems like fairly specific things as opposed to elements like air, water, etc.
Okay, sure. Vulnerable to ectoplasm. I love it. And what do you?
Ghosts are one of those little known. They're actually technically known in wizard circles as ectoplasm elementals.
So I think as this is going on, Eva is so powerful that he could easily wipe out any of you at any time, except that he's so enraged that he just keeps like pivoting, like he's just about to strike you down, and then he turns to the next person who's bothering him. And right now, Vicente just poked him. He doesn't really know what's happened, but he's pivoted back towards Vicente and is fuming. Vicente, I mean, do you say anything to let Cathy know what you've done, or was this part of the plan?
I
or-
think I scream, like, hit him and assume that she knows what with what.
Okay. Cathy, what do you do?
Okay, I am unmuted. Yeah, wow. I am going to stop accidentally marking other people's trauma tracks or corruption tracks. I was on the wrong character keeper side. I'm going to fully manifest, maxing out my trauma track, and I will also let it out.
Okay, can you remind me what happens when you max out your trauma track?
Yeah, it's not good for me. It means that
I can
you
call
may
for you to
call.
make a trauma move at any time.
Yeah.
Well, I think that then you have to lash out at an NPC in furious anger. Like if this isn't the moment, this is the guy who had you killed, has been tormenting Thomas by having a vampire fuck him. Like if anything is gonna be a lash out in furious anger moment. So I think you have to roll with blood.
So I roll with blood. Okay, but this what this does is oh, this doesn't clear my trauma track. It just you're just forcing me to do lash out.
Well, I think it depends on your roll. If you hit, you're going to clear the
Oh,
track.
it does on a hit. I do. Okay, so we're rolling with blood. That's a +1 for me. Here we go. There we go. 7.
All right, so you're going to clear your trauma track. On a 7 to 9, your violence is undirected and wild. It leaves you vulnerable, gets out of hand, or causes some collateral damage, the MC's choice. I mean, it's pretty tempting that you've managed to stab Vicente in this moment. That seems...
That is fair. Also, you get a +2 harm. +1 harm. Let me check that. Yes. So whatever you do, it does an extra harm.
Okay, I thought I was letting loose with the ectoplasm.
Also, I think...
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, lashing out with the ectoplasm. Yeah, so I think that some of it sprays across Vicente. How much harm does the ectoplasm do? 2 harm is the normal normal version.
So it's 3 AP.
All right, let's see how that does for Eva. So the ectoplasm like blasts the flesh from Eva's frame. He's molten, not down, not stopping, not any less angry, but literally coming apart at the seams. His joints hang open, and sort of radiant energy and wisps of icy cold snake out from them. It's clear that he's very close to the edge. But Vicente, that must have hurt you pretty bad as well.
Yeah. I'm sure that did. How much did that hurt me?
Well, it's 2 harm in the area.
Okay.
And you were right there.
And I'm in that area. Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess, am I also still in the area then?
Well, I don't know. Do you think you're close enough that you also take the damage?
I was close enough that I was like whacking with my sword. Okay,
right.
I also mark 2 harm.
2 harm.
Oh, damn. Maximus is...
Yep.
Maximus is having a time.
Yeah.
But
I already was bit by that vampire, so now I'm also ectoplasmed.
It's true. So Eva is clearly on his last legs. Regis, what do you do?
Yeah, Regis is not quite sure. I mean, he's having mixed feelings. If he does this, he's helping out the Winter Queen. Um, so that really sucks. Yeah, does Regis think he could put him in? No, I gave control of the prison over to Vicente, so I don't think I could put him in the prison even if I wanted to. I think that I will. I think I might just shoot him.
All right, we'll roll with blood to turn to violence.
Yeah, this is a -1, so not great, but oh, there we go. That's how you do the minus.
That's a miss, but you have.
I have 1 hold
Oh.
left, so yeah, I'll turn that into a hit.
Well, a hit on turn to violence is going to be enough to take Eva out. So why don't you describe what that looks like?
Yeah, I think Regis thinks about how like he's a wizard and he's trying to become a wizard again and he needs to like take people out with magic and that, he's been just beat to crap and he's trying not to think of himself as immortal anymore. But I think he just also has a gun and like has been not magic for decades at this point. I think he just shoots him.
Yeah, and Eva just unravels. He, maybe he is powerful enough that at some point in the future his form will reassemble in the fairyland. But for now, he's destroyed, banished, whatever it is. The threat that he posed is at an end. And I do love the poetry that our mortal human shot the fairy king to death. Maximus is looking very much the worse for wear. Vicente, Regis, both a little beat up as well. What do you all do now?
I'll say, do you think that the Winter Queen owes us now? Because I have a favor that I would love to ask the Winter Queen.
We can certainly make that case. Hey, can you let me down?
I'll gently lower you to the ground.
So I think that we might just go to epilogues here and see ask each of you, what we see of your character in the days, weeks, months, or years after you defeated Eva and Cleopatra. Vicente, what do we see of you?
I think we see possibly Vicente and Regis like approaching the Winter Queen afterwards to ask for this favor, since we helped her out a lot. We defeated, the person who deposed her. So yeah, I think Vicente just wants to sort of get back in her good graces. It doesn't have a specific thing, a specific favor to ask, but I believe Regis does. And I absolutely back him up on that.
Yes, the Winter Queen has my power. So if I can get it back from her, I could be a wizard again. Yeah.
I think it seems unavoidable to me that she does. It's like the Wizard of Oz ending, and that she says, "The power has been inside you all the time. All I took was what I took was your confidence that the power has never been gone, and for your services to my realm, I will restore it."
Regis is a bit like furious that he didn't think of this sooner, but he gives a bow to the queen.
All right. Nice. And Vicente, I think that she is happy, or at least willing to tolerate your return to the court.
Excellent. Until I fuck things up badly enough to get banished again, I'm it's all good.
If it matters, Vicente could spend a hold to act as if he got a 10 plus on reconciling with the Winter Queen from my my intimacy move.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cathy, what do we see of you by way of epilogue?
I have sort of subsumed a lot of Cleopatra's political sway amongst the Night Circle. There are scenes of me sort of floating through the streets, and there are people kind of in, vampire bars and skulking about the alleyways who kind of look on as I float by, and they turn to each other with these hushed whispers of reverence. Revenants too. And the whole time I'm carrying the dagger, but it's like with a certain sort of like vengeful pride now, and I'm kind of this badass.
Nice. I love that. Maximus, what about you?
I think we see a team of, I want to say like hazmat suited guys, like there was some kind of like hazmat occasion at that place where we fought Ivar, and they were like putting pieces of Ivar into like into plastic baggies with like and like they're going over it with with like Geiger counters, but for Fey magic, I assume. Um, and I think there's like a shot with me and Desmond looking at the scene, and I say that like, so in exchange, you will be forgetting about Cathy's involvement in all of this recent business. But now I think it's time to discuss the future of our organization. I think there are some changes to make.
Yeah, he looks at you and raises an eyebrow, but we'll hear what you have to say. And Regis, have we seen your epilogue, or is there another scene that you'd like by way of wrapping things up?
No, I think the only thing I want to say is that like Regis broke up with Sophia because they just didn't have anything in common anymore because of the magic. I don't think they get back together. I think they like stay friends, but like they were like, if we could have broken up because we didn't have that in common, we probably weren't the best together anyways. So I think they remain friends. But I don't think that I think he's just happy to get back to being magic again and exploring the world. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to end the recording here, and we can do some stars and wishes.